Hey friends, it is Sports Card Hobby News time. I'm excited to be here with you. Stick around. Hello to all my sports card collector, investor, all of my collectibles friends out there. How is everybody doing? It's starting to get to that point in the holidays where things are starting to slow down a little bit. I know for a lot of people, work is starting to slow down, and we're starting to get to where we're hanging out with family and wrapping up the year. So please know how much I am so grateful for you being here. I appreciate it. If you're new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If you like what you hear, the like button really does help kind of get the videos getting traction. I know everybody says that, but it's a true story, and it helps us to spread the word and grow. Please also join me on Instagram at The Personal Finance Dad, and then also on Twitter, The Personal Finance Dad, just keeping it all consistent. All right, guys, let's dig into it. I talked about on the channel here this past week about how I recently picked up an exquisite Bo Jackson auto that I had been looking for a while now, and it just kind of worked out here recently as one of my targets for 2022. And as I was scrolling on my phone, I did see where Bo Jackson is going to be featured in Madden 2022, the video game. And I thought this was kind of interesting because it brings me back to, of course, Bo Jackson Tecmo Bowl days.
Cleveland loves Tecmo Bowl, so let's start playing. I'm the Raiders, I'm Bo Jackson, and hopefully he'll show up.
That's no fair. Bo Jackson's too fast.
Guys, do we want Cleveland back or don't? Here we go. Bye-bye.
See, Peter, he's too fast.
You gotta tackle me. It's B. You gotta press B.
I'm pressing B. He's too fast.
Going over here? Going over here now? Never get tired. Change your guy, Quagmire. Change your guy.
So apparently in the new Madden game, you can unlock Bo Jackson's X Factor ability. And I'm kind of curious to see what exactly that means. If it's going to be like Tecmo Bowl where you're just completely dominating the game. The guy had extra speed, extra power, all that stuff. And so I just thought that was interesting to share. And just again, how the 80s and everything is just coming back around. That 80s, 90s nostalgia. Every company is working on just the redo of it. I saw there's a Goonies TV show coming out, I believe on Disney Plus. There's Goonies. There's probably going to be Gremlins next. We have a new Ghostbusters that just came out. They're going to keep this thing going because people my age and about my age are just all about it. Again, along the same time period, Sports Collectors Daily had a great article here recently on really my all-time sports card set, my all-time favorite sports card set, 89 score football cards. And I love this because it actually did kind of touch on how important this set was. If we're going back to that time period, really you just had Topps making football cards and really a lot of sports cards at that point. And then 89 was where it really kind of changed. You know, you had 89 Upper Deck Baseball that came out, and then you had 89 Score and 89 Pro Set. And that was the first time Score and Pro Set had entered the football card market. And it also just happened to be maybe the all-time best year for rookie cards for football. I mean, if you're looking at the list, and this is just a sample, there's a lot more of them, but we're talking Barry Sanders, Deion Sanders, Derek Thomas, Michael Irvin, Troy Aikman, Tim Brown, Thurman Thomas, Chris Carter, Rod Woodson, Steve Atwater. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, and it was just all these great players packed into, that set. So it kind of, I wonder too, just with how popular those sets were, just like we saw with kind of the Luka Trey draft, and you've got the Zion Ja and kind of all the hype leading up to these drafts. Was it similar back then? Of course, no social media back then, so there wasn't as much, hype in that way. But just excitement behind this rookie class that was coming into football. And it really was a big deal for football cards. And so I love this set. Check out this article on Sports Collectors Daily. Great site for hobby news, but also for products and all sorts of different offerings. Found a great Herald Tribune article locally touching on CSG, the grading company. CSG is kind of that company with the green slab that some people like, some people don't like, but they have been busy. They have got, according to the article, 27 graders. It looks like they've, doubled their workforce here over the last 12 months. And they say here that graders typically need to have 3 to 5 years of experience handling cards before they agree to train them. So they're looking for people that have been kind of in the market, the sports card market to some degree, and have some sort of idea of what to look for before training them. So I thought that was kind of an interesting little tidbit from that article. But this is a company, CGC is the king of grading comic books. They're also getting into grading video games, which, shameless plug, Retro Game Dad YouTube channel, the second channel if you want to look at stuff about graded video games that I've got. But just they're getting into the graded video game space. They've gotten into the graded sports card space. They got bogged down, I think, with just a lot of demand, which is a good thing. But they're another company that I think is just not going anywhere. So when you look at kind of the big companies, PSA is the leader. Then you've got BGS, you've got SGC, which is popular nowadays because of their quick turnaround time. And I like the Tux slabs. And then you've got CSG as kind of that fourth company, but I just don't see them really going anywhere. And I think they'll continue to kind of improve on their overall product. I'm sure turnaround times, everything will get better over time. And so CSG, definitely a company, just kind of a part of that umbrella of grading companies that should be taken seriously, in my opinion. Otis has made the news here. They have received an offer for an all PSA 10 86 Fleer set. Very, very cool offering. Pretty unique offering. A buyout offer of $650,000. And, I wanted to touch on this because fractional share companies in the sports card space have been picking up steam. They have been gaining traction. And it's an interesting space because it is new. It does give folks the opportunity to buy in on the higher end items when, you see a lot of times kind of that lower to middle end tier of cards they can suffer sometimes price wise, but what do you see? A lot of times you see a lot of the high end stuff, especially the really scarce stuff, continues to kind of climb and do well. And so I think this is interesting. And not to say that, there's going to be offerings that are great, offerings that are not. But the one thing I want to continue to reinforce when it comes to fractional is, when did the company acquire these cards? Because, look, we saw the massive boom of, 2020, really kind of the back end of 2020 and then the first quarter of 2021, really a 9-month period where everything really, really went bonkers. Of course, you kind of saw increases coming. There was momentum building towards it. I'm looking at these offerings. I look at the valuation and what did they get it for? What is the share price they're offering? Because that's really important. That initial valuation is going to be really, really critical. Did they buy this thing in 2017 before everything went nuts and that's when it became available? I mean, then you're kind of, okay, this has, I'd rather have something that was bought in 2017 in most cases than something that was bought in the Q1 of 2021 when sports cards and a lot of collectibles were at all-time highs. So I think that that's really, really critical. As you look at fractional share stuff, it is a good space. I think that it's an important space. There's some good stuff there, but also just keeping an eye on that initial valuation. What was it initially purchased for? What was it initially offered at? And then that's where you can kind of make decisions as to, I think this price point is good, or I think it's overpriced, or whatever. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining me here again for another Tuesday morning episode. I hope you all are doing well. And I think that during this holiday season, as we kind of wind down the year, it's a good time to reflect things that we've done well over the year, things that maybe we haven't done well. Where can we make improvements? I am all about the self-awareness, self-accountability, always trying to figure out different ways to improve the channel, improve myself, include my family life. And I just want to tell you that I'm so very grateful for this community. You've given me a lot of great memories, insights, feedback, camaraderie, friendship in a lot of ways that I would not have had if I had not started this channel. So please know how grateful I am for you all. And let's try not to be so hard on ourselves all the time. It's good to set goals and to be working towards something, but also just staying confident in who we are and also just not getting down when we hit those roadblocks. Because as we all know, you can have a plan. What's that famous quote that Mike Tyson says, or the Mike Tyson quote where everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face? And that's essentially what a great metaphor for life. Everyone's got a plan. As I go into 2022, I've got certain goals and I've got certain plans that I'm going in with. Are some of them going to be derailed because of circumstances? Probably, but I'll do my best to adapt and figure out ways to still achieve and hopefully kind of overachieve on that stuff. So guys, let me know kind of some of the things that you're looking forward to in 2022 from a hobby standpoint or otherwise. If you have other goals that you're trying to achieve, I would really like to hear those and maybe we can brainstorm in the chat. I think that would be fun. All right, guys, stay healthy, stay awesome, and and I will talk to you again later.